Welcome back to the Molloy Twins Podcast. And before we get into today's episode, we'd just like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Website for Trades.
Websites for Trades is a business that's set up by Clondalkin local Luke Corrigan and aims to provide affordable but profitable services focused on websites, logos, marketing, social media and videography. It's for tradespeople around Ireland looking to get ahead online. And if you'd like to find out more about the business, you can find them through www.websitesfortrades.ie or on Instagram.
And if you're not a tradesperson, but you would still like to avail of these services, then Luke still has you covered, because he also runs serodigital.io, which is a more general agency that can help you with all of the above. You can find them out at www.serodigital.io or on Instagram. Everything will be linked in the description.
Welcome back to the Molloy Twins Podcast. And today we're joined by one of the biggest names in the Irish boxing scene. Through his coaching, guidance and leadership, he's helped develop world and European champions as well as Olympic gold medalists. But like anyone who's achieved great success in life, it doesn't come without sacrifice. And despite all the great successes professionally, he's been through some tough times personally over the last few years. And it's an absolute pleasure to have him here with us today to talk about the lessons learned, what he's gathered and what he's looking forward to now moving forward into the future. It's Pete Taylor.
Thanks, lads. Thanks for the introduction.
Pete, thank you for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure. Like, you're someone whose face we've seen on televisions and cameras for years now through all the rises, which we'll get into throughout the episode. Yeah, and the falls. Yeah. But it's great to have you. We like to kick off with a little bit of quickfire, especially with people like yourself from the sporting background. We always have some interesting questions. I want to kick off by asking a different variation of a question that I'm sure you get asked a lot. Because from listening to you on other podcasts, a common question is, who was your boxing hero growing up? And I know you said Marvin Hagler was the one who you'd look up to. So if you put the boxers to the side, did you have any coaching inspirations who you look up to or coaches you model yourself off?
I love the Russian style of coaching. When I was on the international team, the high performance team, after everybody was finished training, I used to go watching all the Russians coaching. I love the Russian style. And I was over in Ukraine with Lomachenko's father and was Uzbek's trainer as well. And I used to be watching them coaching all the time and sitting there talking to them. I talked to them for hours. So they're one of my biggest inspirations, and I travelled all over Eastern Europe looking at their style of boxing. You know, just they're amazing. The professors,
yes,
they had to go to university, and then after winning the Olympic Games, I faced Filomonov. I don't know if you've heard of him. He was a Russian coach as well. I faced him over to Bray, and I paid for him to come over for a 3-day seminar. And everybody was saying, "Why are you doing that? You've just won the Olympic gold. Why do you need to face this Russian coach over?" Just it was just brilliant. It was just to listen to the methods and everything, and it's amazing, you know.
Yeah. What would you say is the big differences between the Russian style and standard Irish style, let's say?
Well, you think of all the Irish boxing clubs, in all fairness, it's run by volunteers. You know, somebody's son was boxing, so they do a boxing course over in here. No disrespect to the course over here. Everyone passes it. It's a no fail rate, so you don't. You know,
no barrier to entry.
It's like football. You know, you go any Sunday football match. Kids' fathers and
just child protection stuff and whatever. Yeah.
But over there, they go to school, they go to university, and they're not. Everything's boxing mechanics and you know,
the physics of it all.
It's absolutely amazing if you listen to them and the passion when they're talking about it. You know, it's unbelievable.
Great
so
answer.
That's the difference. You know.
Yeah. You know, my question is, you've had quite a few successful boxers within your stable over the years. If we talk just about like natural talent, who's been the most naturally gifted boxer that you've worked with?
I don't think there's such a thing as naturally gifted.
No?
No. You think, they say like Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, they're natural gifted. They're not natural gifted. They spend hours and hours bleeding training.
Yeah.
Okay, some people are good. They're good footballers, good all-rounders at things. I think the one who copped on easier, they've got the skills easier, probably was Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just, you know, she loved it so much, you know, and I suppose she was the female when it was nearly all male boxing, so for her it was a challenge as well, you know, and like, this is going to be controversial now, but I know we got 5 girls qualified for the Olympics, but I think the standard in women's boxing has dropped. Reason being, I think the standard in women's football has dropped because they've got women playing women now and they're boxing against the women. And the women's teams where a few years ago, if a woman was good, she had to be good in the gym with the men.
Yeah.
So the standard had to be higher. Like Kate, say for instance, Kate played football till she was under 15s, I think it was with the lads. She got schoolboy footballer of the year for Wicklow and everything. So she was competing against the boys all the time. Same with the boxing, she was competing against the boys. If you were a girl that came into the gym, you were throwing in with the boys. She never lasted.
Yeah.
You couldn't last, you know, because she'd be getting battered, you know. And whereas now they've got girls teams and this. So I think there's more quantity of girls boxing, which is great, but I don't think the quality is as good.
Okay.
You know, I know it's a bit controversial, but
it's an interesting point. It's an interesting insight, yeah.
I do think that, you know, like if you want, even Deirdre Gority, I don't know if you've ever heard of Deirdre. She fought on a Tyson bill before, but she was unbelievable. But she was in St Saviour's when I was in St Saviour's Boxing Club. She was inspiring the lads as well, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so you try to be as a girl, then they're trying to be as good as the lads. But now they're trying to be the best girl in the club.
Yeah.
Before they wanted to be the best boxer in the club. It's different, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you play League of Ireland football and you come down and you start playing Wicklow League football, it's a big drop. But if you playing with the League of Ireland lads, then your standard has to rise. And I think that's what's happened a little bit with the girls, you know.
Massive, yeah. That's interesting. As a coach, what brings you the most joy?
Winning. Like it's great when you've put tactics together, and the lads have enforced the tactics and they've won. It's great, and there's nothing better, you know, when you know your tactics have worked, and you know, take pleasure out of it. And it's look, I love as a coach as well. I don't do it now so much because I'm not running an amateur club, but when you get a raw kid coming in and you develop into an international boxer, I think that's really coaching, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of coaching now, professional coaches, have already got the box is good when it goes over to them. It's not only polishing a diamond, but they've not grown them from a child. When you grow them from a child, I think there's no better joy than they're going winning in all islands, maybe European championships or something. It's brilliant.
Yeah, nurturing them from the ground up.
From the ground up, you can't beat it.
No, 100%. My last question was the most naturally gifted boxer you've worked with. If we take one of the most important components of becoming great at anything, which is discipline. Who's been the most disciplined athlete that you've worked with?
Again, I know it sounds biased, and I've got to say Caves. Never drank, never missed training. When we lived in Bray, the club was first club was like 300 or 400 metres away. The second club was like maybe a kilometre away. I never drove Katie to the club. I never walked down. I used to go down by myself. If she wanted to turn up training, she had to turn up. I wasn't going to force her into it. Yeah. She never missed training. She was 6, she trained, and as soon as she's finished the competition, she's back training again. You have to hold her back, and like I say, never drank. She just lived a life, and I think that's why she's still there at the age she is, you know. And I knew even when she lost against Chantelle Cameron, she'd be that disciplined. She'd eat her that much, you know. I know she was a big underdog for that fight, then I think, but I knew she'd come back and win that, you know, because she just has that determination, you know. But I'd even say, even you asked any of the lads, even on the high performance team when she was around, she would probably be by far the most disciplined, you know.
Love it. Last question for me on the quick fires, and I'm kind of nicking this from John Kavanagh because it's a question he speaks about. He gets asked a lot because he says there's fighters who'll come into the gym and be like, I want to be the next Conor McGregor, and he's like, all right, pal, I've heard that one like 100 times before, let's see. And then a couple of weeks later they're gone, it's never back. What is it that you look for in a fighter in the early days that will let you take them seriously, I suppose? Like, no, this kid's had something. Like you've just said, discipline is everything, you know, and character. You know, because you can see sometimes everyone's going in when they're having good spars, they'll turn up the next day bouncing. When you see them when they've had a bad spar, see how quick they come back, you know, or even when they fight, if they come back, how they come back from a loss. And what I find is interesting as well with fighters, how they handle the loss. You know, for me, I know when one of my lads lose, it's heartbreaking. Like I don't want to leave the room. And if I walk down into the hotel and I see him drinking, then I think, you know, like with Sean, we spoke earlier, Sean McComb, he didn't lose, but he got robbed in New York. He was heartbroken, you know, and that's how you want him to be. He's got to mean that much to him, you know, because he means that much to me, so I expect it to mean that much to them as well, you know. So I think that's character and discipline is everything.
Great answer.
Massive. I want to ask just on the Sean McComb thing. I wasn't planning on starting here, but it just came to mind because I watched. Anyone who hasn't watched the highlights of the fight, just go watch the highlights and you'll see what we're talking about. But at the end, when the judge was reading out the score, or the ref was reading out the scorecards, and it was announced that Barboza had won, seeing Sean's reaction and your reactions in the corner, obviously you're disappointed and upset. But there was almost like a feeling where it's like, I'm not surprised something like this has happened. You know that way. And when I was watching Sean, he was like walking around the ring and he's like congratulating Barboza, and I almost felt like you won, but you know you didn't win at the same time, you know, that way. Yeah. And like when you're in those situations, is it a feeling of shock and disbelief, or is it like, here we go again, boxing, doing boxing?
Yeah, it's boxing, you know, when it goes to the judges, you never know. It's a toss of a coin with them. And look, and there's no disrespect to Barboza, he's not the judge.
Yes, yeah.
Like, he's in there, he doesn't, no, he's just doing the best he can, you know. But he did know he didn't win. I mean, the first thing the father said was, "We'll give you a rematch," but they're not going to give us a rematch. I knew they won't give us a rematch. Not a hope, because you lost 8 out of 10 rounds. But it's heartbreaking. It's disgusting, really. You know, I mean, because it's life changing for people. That's life changing for Sean, you know. But that's boxing, you know. You don't have to go to New York. You go to the National Stadium. They're doing it all the time, you know. They're doing it with 11-year-old kids, sure. And a lot of the time, with the, say, amateur boxing, it's they just don't know how to judge. It's a genuine mistake. They're not cheating. A lot of the time, higher level you go up, they are cheating. But with the schoolboys, they're not. But professional boxing, they should have professional judges.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and they should be accountable. Nobody's accountable anymore. And I spoke about this before. The judging system is shite. You know, you win rounds, but you don't win the fight. So. As I explained earlier, you could box 4 rounds, you could box the head off me for 4 rounds, beat me by 30 punches each round, and then I go win the next 6 rounds by 1 punch. You win the fight, and you know, the 6 rounds by 10-9. I'm only winning the rounds 10-9 as well. So, you know, you win the fight 6 rounds to 4, but really I've battered you over the whole fight. Yeah. So you've won the rounds, but I've actually won the fight, you know. And
yeah.
I know people that disagree, but I think the old amateur computer should be fetched back. But just a little bit different is that instead of 3 judges pressing the button within 0.4 of a second, everybody presses the buttons for if the thing is a scoring point. You know, like the CompuBox, and score over the whole fight. And then you'll know who's won. And if I have the red corner winning by 100 punches to 24, and the other judge has is roughly the same, the other corner has it the other way around, then he's cheating. The other judge, sorry. And it's a cheat, and they should be banned. You know, it's cheating. It's no different to the boxers taking drugs.
Yes, yeah.
It's cheating, you know, and they should ban them, you know, and they should never be allowed to judge again. Yeah. You know, I think one of the judges that was in Sean's fight, I think he's been on the wrong side of loads of fights, you know. So, you know, what do they have him judging for, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and I think as well as judges, they should have earphones on them as well, so they can't hear the crowd.
Getting influences.
Because that influences him as well, you know. But I mean, it didn't influence him in New York because they all booed the decision anyway, you know. And they were all Barboza's supporters, you know. Yeah. And then the federation should, when there's controversial like that, they should order immediate rematches.
Yeah.
No, but they don't, you know. So everyone just moves on, and then it's just another L on your box rec, and people forget about it. And, you know, another mistake as well, when the fights are close, and it could go either way. People say it's robbery. It's not robbery. It's a close fight. Subjective rounds. It's not robbery then. But when it's one-sided like that fight, that is pure robbery, you know.
Yeah, there's no real reason for it.
There's just cheating, you know.
Yeah. Me and Lee were chatting in the car on the way up about, you know, wanting to make sure we ask questions that are well thought through and not just going down rabbit holes that, you know, get perpetrated across the media. And one question that I wanted to ask you was, given everything you've been through over the last few years, highs and lows, what has boxing, being involved in boxing, the sport of boxing itself, I suppose, taught you that has helped you get through those tough times over the last little while?
Oh, well, yeah, look, everyone knows what I've been through. I think once you box, it's just, to get into the ring takes character. Obviously, you've got to be brave getting into the ring, brave enough. And I analyse everything like boxing, you know. And look, like the Rocky movie, if they knock you down, you just got to get back up. And let's just get back up and look, I'm not waking up every morning bleeding with cancer or anything. You know, it's every day, it's once you wake up, it's great. That's the way I look at it, you know. It's just break, positive attitude, you know, and the obstacles are only obstacles. So what? You just get over them, you know. Or you can cry about it, you know. And then where does it get you? Because nobody else gives a shite anyway, do they? You know what I mean?
No.
Nobody cares, like, you know. So you better have just. I've got people around me as well, you know, who support me, and I've got great support. My missus, she's great, like, you know, and so that's all you need. You need one or two good people around you, because really we all only have one or two good people around us anyway, you know. So
I think that's so key. Yeah.
You know, it's I suppose again it's like a boxing. He's only one or two people in his corner, and you know, and it's the same, you know. So I just look at everything like a boxing match, you know.
It's a good point. Everyone loves you when you're winning, and then when you're losing,
everybody's
you're relevant,
tapping you on the back, you know.
Yep.
And when you get robbed, then we say, "Oh, jeez, hard luck," and then who cares?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't affect them, you know.
No, that's it. They go home and life goes on.
If you get shot, people say, "Oh, jeez, sorry to hear that." It doesn't affect them, you know.
It
doesn't affect them, you know. So you just got to get on yourself, you know.
I think, was it age 9 you started boxing?
I boxed, in
age 9. And what age did you transition into coaching?
I boxed till I was 35.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after that I did a few of these unlicensed fights and things like that, you know. I did them unlicensed boxing till I was about 42, 43. You know? I still spar as well, even today I still spar, you know. But
so if the lads aren't playing ball, you'll hop in the ring and show them
I love sparring, like, I still spar, but I always loved boxing, you know. And none of my family was involved in boxing at all, you know. So just something I liked, you know.
Yeah. So now that you have like a lot of experience boxing and you have a lot of experience coaching, which one of the two do you prefer?
Oh, well, I still like I say, I still love sparring, but I'd love to have boxed. I'd love to have boxed with the knowledge I have now.
Yeah.
You know, that
be
kind
a
of
cheat
way.
code,
You know, so, like I say, I was saying, you get coached. I was coached by volunteers at the time until I went to Saviours. But you know, you'd love to know what you know now and give it a go. But for sure, that's life, innit? You know, if I'd succeeded so much in boxing, then these other things wouldn't have happened. Like Kate wouldn't be where she was, and things like that. You know, so.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool insight to take away from it. You can have it all, but you can't have it all at once, as they say.
That's it, you know. That's it, you know. I mean, if they said to me, "You could have been world champion," like, "Oh, your daughter can be Olympic and world champion," I'd prefer my daughter to be Olympic and world champion.
Yeah.
What level did you box up to? Were you on the verge of going pro at any stage, or were you pro?
Yeah, once now I won the Irish title, and I didn't really give it the effort I should have done. By the time I was 23, I had 4 kids, you know.
Okay.
So I had to put, and I that was in like the 80s and 90s. I had to put food on the table at the end of the day. So it's hard to train twice a day and go out to work as well, you know. It's difficult, you know, especially as an amateur. And then there was no pro boxing there at the time. I think the only professional we had then was Stevie Collins.
Right.
And Stevie was in Saviour. I used to spar Stevie in Saviours, you know, and he was the only probably the only pro we had, and he went to the States to do it, you know.
Yeah.
So there's no pro boxing then, you know.
Yeah,
so,
fair.
You know, and then you'd have to leave home, and I couldn't leave home. Like I said, I had 4 kids, you know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. With Pete Taylor, there's always 2 elephants in the room that people want to ask about or talk about. So I want to start talking, and I'd like to start with the whole shooting situation, everything around that, because I know we spoke just beforehand coming on, and thankfully everything's been resolved, like court cases done and stuff. And I think when that happens immediately, if I just give like a general population person, it's like shooting in a boxing gym that's owned by Pete Taylor, and then straight away people say he's involved in some dodgy stuff. He was the target, he was who they were going for. And whether it's true or not, once that's the message
sells
that gets
papers.
spun, exactly, it sells papers, and they say don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, innit? So it's like, whether it's true or not, it sells, so let's keep running with it.
Yeah.
And now, thankfully, everything's been resolved. And like, you have an opportunity to share the reality, I suppose, the truth of what's happened for people who maybe don't.
Yeah, well, it's not really resolved. In fact, I still have, I have all the newspapers in court now of it, but in the court case, I wasn't the target. I knew I wasn't the target. I opened up the club that morning, and there was nobody around, and the chap who did the shooting was watching me open the club seemingly, and if he wanted to shoot me, he'd have walked up behind me and shot me in the back of the head. I wouldn't know who he was, like, you know. I thought he was just somebody coming in to train. because on the morning session we used to do a weight training session, and it was open to the public. So he could have been anyone, you know. But on the morning, the shooting. Is that what you want to talk to me about? Yeah. So we had a 6:30 class. It was mad. I'd woke up. It was a bank holiday weekend. I was meant to be on a stag party. Would you believe?
No way.
And I didn't go to the stag. I don't fancy
the peaceful weekend.
It was a beef, and I thought, I don't fancy a weekend of drinking. I'm not much of a drinker, you know. So I didn't go to the stag, and I think it was a Tuesday. It happened. Long weekend. I just woke up about 6. I thought I'd get one of the other coaches to go down there. And I just read that book. What's that book called? What was it called? About the chimp being in the chimp paradox.
Chimp paradox, yes.
I just read that book, the chimp paradox, saying, don't let the chimp tell you you're not doing anything, you know. I said, this is a chimp telling me I'm not going to go training. I'm not going to go train.
Yeah.
I'm going to go train. That bleeding chimp got me shot.
So don't listen to this. Steve Peters is the author of that book, so he's
don't listen to him. So anyway, the chimp told me not to go training, so I went training, and opened up the gym, put the whiteboard, all the session up for the whiteboard, just been putting on the music. Next, bang, my head is shooting. What's going on? I thought it was on my air compressors, and I turned around. There's a lad at the door, shooting around at everyone. One of my friends shot dead, Bobby. What's happening here? And then, you know, only my 4 or 5 seconds, but you're processing everything, you know, in your brain. What's happening? There's 2 girls beside me. She's going to shoot these girls. So I was looking for something to throw at him, a small weight, and then I was going to run at him. There's nothing around me. I thought, fuck, what am I going to do? So I just said, just run. I'll just run at him. So I just took to running at him, and then obviously he saw me running at him then. So he shot at me. The first one just caught me on the head, bounced off the cable cross. So I thought, fuck, that was close. And all this is going through my brain.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get this lad now, you know. And I dived him. As I dived, there's a bench there, and I didn't see the bench, but he broke me dive. And just as I got hold of him, he bleeding, shot me in the arm, took up and ran away. Then the next day, I went to hospital then, heartbroken over Bobby. Then operation, I had a frame on my arm, and then the next day you wake up to the newspaper saying, Pete Taylor, the target of a shooting, drugs fuel.
Yeah.
What? I'm after risking my life here trying to save everybody in the bleeding gym, and now I'm getting slated in the paper. It was madness, it was, you know, and it was a killer for you, you know. You think, I could have hid in the corner, nothing would have happened to me. What would the story have been the next day, you know?
Yeah.
And look, they made the story because Katie Taylor's father, a target of a shooting. Katie Taylor's involved in this feud, and you know, so, and they kept selling, and he sells papers, but it wasn't selling papers over me. It was selling papers over Katie's name, really.
Yeah.
Which was like disgraceful, you know. And like Katie Taylor sells papers, obviously, you know. It's like if they write about Conor McGregor sells papers, you know. They don't care if it's true or it's not true. They're selling papers. If you sue them, they probably pay 1/10 of what they've made on the papers, you know what I mean? And the papers are insured anyway. So it makes no difference to these people. Maybe they don't care, but they destroy people's lives. You know, and you know, you talk about obstacles. You know, I mean, got shot, tore my quads another time, quads away from the knee. That was the biggest obstacle for me to overcome. Like I would go into a cafe and everybody would leave the cafe. Jeez, I'm not staying in here. Yeah. Somebody could go in and bleed and shoot. You go to places where you'd always frequented, and managers say, Pete, the staff are afraid when you walk in here in case somebody comes in after you. Jeez, I'm not the target. Like, I'm telling you, I'm not a target. Like, and it's crazy. I had to move out of the house I was living in because the neighbours were
scared,
complaining. Like, it's, you don't know. And then the boxing club got the council changed the locks on the boxing club, and boxing club's been closed since. You know, so looks like it. Then for everybody, it looks like, geez, he was definitely into something, that lad. You know,
he shut up shop and liked it. Yeah,
he's either drug dealing or debt collecting, and I'd be saying, imagine me debt collecting or drug dealing. I got drugs off Katie Taylor's father. That makes sense, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You know, you'd be the worst debt collector in the world.
It's like Katie Taylor's
money off me.
Watching the fight on telly.
Sell me a bag of this. Or, you know, but people believe all that crap, you know, and then obviously then I got married and people say, oh, that was Kate Taylor's best friends. My wife didn't even know Kate. Obviously knows Kate, but she didn't know her personally.
I actually heard that rumour as well.
Look. And then I remember in a pub, someone like coming over to me and says, oh, congratulations, just had a baby. Have I? Says, yeah, it's your second one, isn't it? No. Oh, it's the truth. My missus was there. Says, does she look fat? Or something, you know, I mean, she's no babies. But people, these stories, like, it was just crazy stories, and people believe them, you know. But it just shows you how boring people's lives are.
Yeah, that's very true. And you seem well able to kind of just like laugh it off. Is that something you've developed over time, or were you always
just have to develop it over time? Like when you listen to all these things and you read about yourself in the paper, and then people send you these social media things, you go, fucking hell. Like, you know, I mean, social media is a killer for people. Like, you know, and you can see how it can affect people's mental health.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
It's a killer for people's mental health. That's you know, if you're somewhere weak at all, she's a killer, you know what I mean? Because you could, you know, I always say you can read 99 good things about you, but you'd focus on the one bad thing. Yeah. But there was 99 bad things about me, and there wasn't one good thing I could focus on.
Still searching for that one.
For the one good thing. Jeez, and every newspaper report. And then after the murder trial, when all the people that were in the gym said, yeah, if it wasn't for Pete, we'd have all been shot. He ran at the gunman, and the defence solicitor of your man said, "Jay's a very brave thing to do." Little thing in the corner of some newspaper, whereas before headlines all over the front pages, 29 front pages. Pete tells the target, drug feud, and you know that's life now, isn't it? You know, so you know you just can't let these things bother you, you know.
Yeah.
But he does, like, you know, you can say he can't let, but he does.
Yeah, of course.
There's always a little bit of bothers you, you know what I mean? And I suppose you go onto these podcasts and I know you're talking about it, so it still bothers you because you want people to think this is the truth, you know, about me. But it's, there's no smoke without fire, so they're not going to believe. If they believe you, they believe you.
Yeah.
Everyone has an opinion, and you know, like they say, opinions like assholes. Everybody has one, you know. So who cares?
Yeah, no, facts. It's horrible. Like, you hear the amount of stuff about mental health and how important that is, but I don't give a shit about the person's mental health who they're
you know,
targeting here.
I did a bit of training. Paul McShane, you remember Paul McShane?
Yes, the footballer.
Yeah, he used to play football with Katie, you know. They were on the same. They were on the same football
He was at
team.
Man United as a.
He was at Man U, yeah. He was on the same football team in Newtown, Mount Kennedy. You know, they played on the same team. And I remember, in the stands watching an Irish game, and you know the fans were Paul McShane giving him a stick, and I was sat next to his mother and his father. I think, Jesus Christ, like, and they're slaughtering him on the pitch. You know, the fans are. And, you know, they don't care. When somebody's a public figure, they think they've no emotions.
Yeah. It's fair game. Yeah,
it's just everything's fair game with him. You know, which is crazy. You know, so I think people should need to think before they shout or they post these things. You know,
No, that's actually such a great point. You see it in the papers every week between footballers or other athletes or other celebrities and whatever. It's almost like they're just there and it's fair game, go attack them, say what you want, that's fine. Say about a regular Joe Soap, like, nah, that's off limits.
That's off limits.
If someone's a public figure.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I just, I don't believe anything I'm reading in the papers. I actually don't believe anything.
Yeah, just believe the opposite.
Yeah, because it's even things that, I even read things now which I know, even in the boxing world, which I know is not true. And they're still writing in the papers, like, you know, like, they wrote in the papers last week, Katie's fight was in Frankfurt. It's been called off, it's now in Frankfurt. Where did they get that story from? You know, Tyson's fighting in Frankfurt now, and I think that was in the Irish Times. Like, where did they get the stories from? But they've no, again, like judging, they write something that's incorrect, but there's no comeback for these people.
Yeah, no accountability, yeah.
It's not like, because nobody really chases them in court. Nobody sues them. Like, I am doing that, but like most people just don't bother, you know. It's not worth the chase with them, you know. And if you lose, it costs you a lot of money anyway. And they have bundles of money. They don't care, you know.
Yeah.
So you know they get away with murder, you know, and saying that they get away with murder and with things that's happening even in Dublin. They've caused so much trouble.
Inside.
It causes like so much trouble, you know. I'm not going to go there, but they do cause so much, you know, harm. You know, it's crazy, you know.
Massively. With the outcome of that trial, this may be a little bit off topic, but did they determine, was the victim of the attack Bobby, who ended up being killed? Was that the intended target, or was this?
No. The thing, it was tragic. Bobby was super fit, an absolute gentleman, like nice person you never meet, like, and he loved a little bit of boxing, you know, and but he was super fit, like he never missed training, and just what happened was, when your man came in, one of the lads said, "Who's your man, Bobby?" And Bobby was doing bent over rows, you know, or bent over fly, sorry, and they're like, "What?" And he put his head up, your man shot over there, and Bobby caught his. Went,
right.
Yeah, it's just tragic, like I say, in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's the true thing about it. Like, Bobby was the nicest person you meet, and it's just tragic, you know. And then even after that, then you have the guards doing interviews. Bobby Messi opened the door of the gym. That's how he got shot. Bobby was up there training. Even the guards were really putting out wrong statements, you know. It was just tragic, you know. And so that's it, you know. And then obviously we in the boxing club, and all the stuff that was going on around boxing at the time just blew up then, you know what I mean. And so, and obviously I was training a few fighters, MTK boxers as well at the time.
It was a perfect storm.
So it was a perfect story for him, you know what I mean. And you know, I remember actually a reporter saying to me, "What are you doing training MTK boxers?" And it was the front page of the paper, said, "I'll train who I want to train. I'm training boxers." And as a coach, it's a compliment when a boxer, as a professional coach, if a boxer comes to you, it's had a high amateur pedigree, and he comes to you and says, "Will you come as a pro?" It's a compliment.
Yeah.
I had Davey Oliver, who 3 Olympic cycles. He's trying to make a few bob now after being amateur, and he comes to ask you a coach. You're gonna say, "No, I'm not coaching you," you know.
Yeah.
It's a compliment, you know. And so I had lads from all different promotional companies as well, and it was boxing's boxing, you know. Boxing's the greatest sport in the world in the sense that it's a bit like a church. Everyone's allowed in it.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody can go and play golf. Not everybody can go and play rugby. Not everyone can go and play tennis. Even some football clubs can be like that with them. But boxing, they let everyone in. You know, anyone can go into boxing. You'd have, I had Adam Nolan in the Olympics. He was a guard in Bray. Adam, he went to the Olympics in 2012. Boxed from my club. Him and Katie were the two boxers that went from my club to the Olympics in 2012. But Adam was in there training. We had a good few travellers in there. We had lads involved in, you know, we want to be the best lads, you know, but they're all together in that one community. And boxing's the only sport where everybody can get on well in one community that, you know, and they all have respect, you know. And it was great for Adam Nolan. He was in Bray, and he was in there boxing in the club, and there was all these lads that are there, and, you know, boxing has always in, well, obviously you've always had what people say unsavoury characters in boxing.
Yes.
But he's there, and he had so much respect around the town from it, you know, and because they were in there boxing him, and he was boxing against them, he was way better than the lads as well, and he gave him great respect, and for social community, it was the best thing ever.
Yes.
You know, like, you know, guards training with these people was brilliant, like, you know, and he gets so overlooked, you know.
Oh, for sure. What do you think it is about boxing that makes it that way?
Boxing, it's I don't know. It's always been that way. You know, you've always had, since boxing became. It's no excuse for it, but it's always been ran like that, hasn't it? You know what I mean? Don King and you know, and it's always and a lot of the people years ago when the box, they were uneducated. You know, and it's just they found something that they're really good at. You know, and even now, a lot of the boxers are educated, but there's a lot of them are uneducated, and a lot of them get ripped off, don't they? Let's be honest about it. You know?
Yeah.
They do get ripped off, you know, and because they don't have the education behind them, you know, and you know, and it's mad. Again, boxing was started by the Lord Queensberry rules. Boxing actually started by lords, but then they faced the kind of slaves into it, and the slaves started hammering all the all the laws, and so just went downhill from then on, you know what I mean? But that's it. And then it's just a working class sport now, isn't it? You know, and
Rubber.
You know, people, especially now, it's where the way life is now is, you know, the families don't want the kids boxing. They're saying, they even get off the wall, you'll fall off the wall. Don't climb that tree, you'll hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to send them boxing now.
True,
And they've got all these computer games now where they don't get hurt. So that's I think that's a big good reason for it. So it is a rough sport. Like, and I think there's more damage in boxing than even in the UFC and the MMA because you're taking so many headshots in boxing.
Yeah, it's
non-stop headshots.
Target,
where you're going a lot more grappling.
Yeah.
In the other sports, so it's not the I love boxing, but it's not the best choice for your kids. If you have kids, all my kids box, but it's not really the best. It's not the best, but you shouldn't stop them doing it as well. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah,
just make them better at it. Get them the best.
That's
coaches.
it. Yeah.
Get them the best coaches they can get. And, that's
Contact
it.
Pete Taylor.
We'll link in the description. Cool. So that's that one. The second thing, and I want to get on to actually talking to you about coaching and that side of things. That's what I'd love to dig into. But the other thing that always comes up whenever Pete Taylor's name gets mentioned is Katie Taylor. Yeah. And obviously Pete coached Taylor or coached Katie for a certain period of time, and then they split, and she went her separate ways, and he went his separate ways. And then people will insert their own reasons why they went separate ways or what caused that split, and then even questions around like what, if anything, is the relationship between Pete and Katie today. Do they talk? Do they act like we don't exist anymore? Like anything like that? Could you clear up any of that stuff?
Like look, me and Katie like we were before, it's great. She was just over for Father's Day. I was with me for Father's Day, and when I was over with Sean McComb, we went up to visit her because she's in Connecticut, it's near New York, so we went up to visit her to see how she was getting on, and she was going to come to the fight, but Katie, she hates the limelight. She hates the limelight. But he asked me the reason why we split up. Like I split up with Katie's man. Katie's she's born again Christian, and she just she couldn't accept you at the time, and Katie, like I said before, Katie knew it was going to affect her performances, like because I'd always been with her in every corner, every training camp. But she just shows her a strength of character. Like she knew that she was going to suffer as well when I wasn't going to be in the corners, which she did. She lost the Worlds and the Olympics things then, and we'd not lost a tournament in 17 tournaments. And we think we'd gone 10, 11 years without losing a major tournament. I think it was. It's five World Championships, 6 European Championships, 6 EU titles, and then she lost the Worlds first, and then she lost in the Olympics, which was very controversial, but she wasn't boxing well, as she'll say herself. She wasn't boxing well. She said in one of the documentaries she was like boxing without her right arm, not having me in the corner, because even aside from coaching, it's a relationship being in the corner. You've got to trust who you're in the corner, and then obviously the relationship between me and her ma broke up, and then seemingly I ran off with Katie's best friend. That's a lie, by the way. But that was the rumors going around, which was an absolute lie. But,
there'll be a newspaper article when this comes out now.
No, there won't be, because it's the truth. You know what I mean? I didn't run off with Katie's best friend, but but me and Katie, we get on great, and it's great. We're in contact all the time, obviously she lives in the States now, and which it's so say, because when we go out, even when I go over there and we go out for food, nobody knows who she is. Which is great, because like she loves the boxing, she loves the success from the boxing, but she hates what comes with it, the fame and everything, where most people love the fame, she hates it, which is great for her. And where she lives is in the middle of nowhere, like. You think how even she lives there, but she loves it, so but his relationship's absolutely brilliant, so and like I was going to the fight in Texas, the one when she was
you were going to,
we had the tickets and everything sorted, and then it's off now, but till November.
She was rescheduled to November as well.
It's November now. It's been I think she looks like she's fighting in November as well.
Nice, because I think Jake Paul is fighting Mike Perry now or something like that in July.
Look. Katie's got to pick her fights now.
For sure.
She don't want to be fighting like 3 or 4 times a year. It's not even the fights don't cause you the damage, it's the camps. The sparring in the camps causes so much damage, and no matter what sport you are, once you get to a certain age, you've got to kind of stop the impact a little bit now. And you don't need to spar as much. I mean, I remember. even talking about rugby players, Brian Driscoll and all, they were all, lads running 20 metres, they do 10 metres runs. They weren't having as much contact as the younger lads. You don't need it, You've got the experience to get you through these things now. You don't need that, You don't need to be sparring 2 and 3 times a week.
You don't need to prove that to anyone at that stage.
You've got all there's nothing that's going to happen in a fight you've never dealt with before anyway. So you don't need that, the experience of sparring,
Yeah.
When Kay first started boxing, actually, on the international scene, it's a different altogether now, but we went to every competition because she'd not had any amateur fights, in Ireland. So we went to every competition. We had, I think in the first year, she had maybe 60, 70 fights just going international competitions, and the second year the same. Till then they started getting the rounds under her belt, and then we started cutting it back to the major competitions. But it's the same when you get older, you just have to cut the sparring down in the competition now, I think,
Oh, for sure. I'm glad to hear the relationship is strong.
No, it's strong as everything, and like I say, she came over for Father's Day, and it's great. And I think there was pictures of us in the newspaper, maybe our last fight.
Oh yeah,
there was a few pictures.
Yes, I think there was. Yeah.
Then, so. Yeah, but people still make up there.
Oh, I know. They loved it. Well, I'm glad we could clear up a couple of things there so you can get the truth back into the conversation. And one thing I do want to actually shout you out for, because I know we started off with maybe a controversial take, let's say, on women's sports, is I don't think you get enough credit for what you did for women's sports and women's boxing overall in terms of giving it the profile, contributing massively at least to the profile it has today, and getting it into the Olympic Games for Katie to actually be able to go and win an Olympic gold. Because one thing that really stuck out for me is you were actually paying out of your pocket for other fighters, because there wasn't a big pool of female fighters in Ireland for Katie to fight against a trainer. You would pay out of your own pocket for fighters from the UK to fly and come over so Katie could have opponents, people to train against to help her development. And that stuff that gets just shoved under the rug and forgotten about and never spoken, but like, that's unbelievable to be willing to do that.
Yeah, no, that was like, I'm kind of proud to be part of it. I was part of the Olympic Games, getting the female boxing into the Olympics Games. We were traveling to Chicago for the bouts for that, for trying to get the girls into it, and just knocking on the doors all the time. We were hoping to get into Beijing in 2008. And it was heartbreaking. We heard on the radio.
Only like 6 months out or something like that.
Yeah, we were saying, I wonder when the qualifying tournament is going to be. 6 months out, we heard on the radio going in. It's not in the Olympic Games. It's heartbreaking. On your way into training, it was a killer. I just can't believe this. And I remember I turned around to Kay. I said, she said, what are we going to do now? And I said, listen. I said, we're going to kick the doors down now. I said, people are going to talk about you. You're going to be the best boxer, best female boxer anyone's ever heard of. You're going to go to all the male camps. You're going to destroy everyone, and they're not going to be able to deny you. They're not deny you because everyone's going to talk about you. So you're going to have to train harder. We're going to train 3 times a day. We're going to train harder. Knock the doors down, and you won't be denied. You won't be able to be denied because we're going to build up that much. We didn't really go media profile, but reputation.
Yeah.
People are going to be talking about when we go to tournaments, and should be knocking people out and boxing so well. And go to the men's training camp, she'd be sparring all the men, and it'd be like great spars. Everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
And it got to the point that they couldn't deny it. And again, then you get things that are not talking annoying you. Then you get say Kelly Harrington up there saying, boxing won't be where it was if Pete Taylor was still in there. She wanted to win an Olympic gold if I hadn't been knocking the bleeding doors for it. And that drives me mad as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was confused by Kelly's comment.
That's just a jealousy thing as well, and just using Katie's name, Kate Taylor's father's name. It's not my name, it's Katie's name, to sell a book. That's basically what it was.
Yeah.
Cut to the line, that's what it was. It's just to sell a book, And then when I replied to all the comments she made about me, it is what it is. I said what I said. Answer the comments, answer the replies I've given you. You can't answer them, you know what I mean? And it's just frustrating. Things like that frustrate you, And then, like you say, the amount of time I was running training camps in the National Stadium. We were fetching. I wasn't paying this out of my own pocket. I got money from the Sports Council. We fetched teams over from Norway, Sweden, UK to get all that girls' experience, And at the end of the training camp, I had about 15 Irish girls in, and then we had about maybe 40 other girls from other countries. At the end of the training camp, there was only Katie standing. All the Irish girls left. So that was the interest they had in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And like Kelly Aaron was one of them girls that legged it as well, you know, because they just didn't want the sparring, you know. And so, you know, that was very frustrating for me when you listen to likes of that, you know, and saying what they had to say about it, and the amount of effort you actually put in to get it going, you know, is frustrating, to say the least.
I can imagine, man. I can imagine. But yeah, I think it really stood out for me when I heard how much you sacrificed financially, personally, professionally, like the amount of time you would have had to given up from coaching, like running your business, running the gym, to invest into Katie, and as a consequence of that, women's sport and women's boxing as a whole. I think it deserves to be recognised.
Yeah, it was me. Look, it was my daughter's passion since she was a child, you know. She used to mess around, standing, I'm going to be an Olympic. I remember she did the schools, you know, when the careers guide.
Yes.
I said, what are you going to be? What do you want to do when you leave school? And she says, I'm going to be Olympic champion. I'm a professional boxer. There's no professional boxing. There's no Olympic boxing for women. Yeah. No professional boxing for women. I nearly laughed at her, you know. Look, you know.
He's laughing now.
Yeah. And look, anyone, you know, if the child is into anything, they do anything they can to let them achieve the goal, I think, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just you're just doing what any parent would probably do anyway, you know. With you know, and he had the connections to kind of get these people over as well, so
to make it happen.
It was great, you know.
I think there's something unique about boxing where we see that kind of parent-child relationship take people to the next level, and it can also kind of cause a lot of family issues. But if you see like the likes Devin Haney and his father coaching thing, the Eubanks, Lomachenko, was there ever times for you where the father inside of you wanted one thing for Katie and the coach wanted another?
Yeah, a few times, but like, you know, it's hard watching your dog getting punched in the face. We'd be sparring. You'd be sparring men all the time, you know. She'd spar men all, Paddy Barnes, Michael Conlon, Cal Frampton. They were amazing sparring partners, and the lads were great, you know. Cal Frampton used to get the train down to Bray to spar with her for our world championships and everything. Cal was an absolute gentleman, you know. Paddy was probably a main most sparring partner. John Joe Nevin as well, a great sparring partner for. But that used to be, as a father, it was hard, you know, because they were tough spars and that. But then when she fought in competitions, it was actually a step down for her.
Yeah. It's a good point.
We kind of, like, I was so relaxing really in competitions, you know. Well, except for the obviously Olympic games.
Yeah,
because of the
when the judges,
but I was fairly relaxed in the competitions. But the sparring was it was amazing to watch, you know. But as a father, it was like, you know, it was horrible, you know. At the end of the day, it's still your daughter, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the hardest thing. But it was hard for the coach thing, you know. It's actually
I'd say so
at times, you know.
Were you able to, like, at home I'm your dad and in the boxing gym I'm your coach, or did that kind of relationship just merge into one?
Just merged into one, you know. Imagine. In all fairness, we tried not to talk about boxing too much at home. Yeah. And you know, even we give each other a call every week. And I said, before the call, I said, we won't talk about boxing. I'm not going to talk about boxing. She comes home, we're not talking about, all we do is talk about boxing. Always. You know, it's just, it's both things that we've got in common, you know, so, it's great, you know, it's all good, you know.
Yeah. Even nowadays, when you speak to Katie, does boxing come up a lot?
She was on for, like I say, for 4 days there, and it's just boxing, you know. You start not talking about boxing, then it just goes to boxing. Yeah, no. It's just, you've got it's what you have in common, innit, you know, I suppose, you know, and, you know, you talk about something else for 2 seconds, it's back to the boxing, you know. It's actually, if somebody's there in this company, it's actually very boring for them because we're talking about boxing, you know. Just boxing, you know, so, yeah. I think she'll make a great coach.
Yeah. Do you think she'll get into it?
No. But I think she could make could make a great coach, but I don't think so. Yeah, it'd be great if she did, but I don't think she will, you know.
That's one of the questions I had for you, because you obviously transitioned from boxer to coach.
Yeah.
And you've done some courses, but I'd say most of what you learned was just through trial and error and taking people through that process. Everything you've learned and the journey you've been on, what do you think makes a great boxing coach?
Well, I actually think if you're a great boxer, you don't necessarily make a great boxing coach, because you try to instill your style onto it, and what I think with what makes a great boxing coach is forget about the history of boxing. Get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Why get up at 5 o'clock in the morning when you're asleep? Break up your sleep patterns. It's just
the Rocky
boxing's got too
Balboa
much
stuff,
history in it,
Yeah.
But MMA and UFC have not got that history. They're a new enough sport, so the training methods are way better, more scientific, and I think to make a great coach is to be open-minded. Look at all different sports, what they're all doing. I watch a lot of tennis videos, would you believe?
Really?
Because it's rotation, but baseball, see what the baseballers do for rotation, and then basketball for the footwork, and you've got to look outside of what you're doing. And I look at a lot of the things that MMA and UFC do for strength and everything, and I even think for boxing, wrestling's great for them, because when they're inside, the wrestling work. So, I think all that stuff's great for them, and I think you've just got to be open-minded and not just think, oh, Joe Louis did this. Joe Louis boxed in the 1930s, boxing's evolving all the time. Like the fight, the people are only getting bigger. Everyone's getting, people are getting like technically better. So you've got to evolve with it, and but if you try to keep using the training things that you did even when I boxed, it's outdated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And even now when you're talking to coaches about, say, weight training, it slows you down. Weight training slows you down. So somebody should tell Usain Bolt that then, because he does weight training all the time. He's the fastest man on earth, what I mean? Yeah. It doesn't slow you down, he speeds you up.
Yeah.
And you got to, just be open-minded, I think, and if somebody tells you something, take it on board, try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then disregard. And look, something might work for you as a boxer, and it might not work for you, So, you can't train all the boxers in one way as well. Some lads you can't give them weight training because they'll blow up to the next weight, So you can only do plyometrics with them. So it's and you've some lads that are 6'1" and that likes a Sean McComb who's 6'1" and he's light welter. Then you've some lads that 5'6" and the light welters. You can't train them the same way.
Yeah.
So you're saying methods won't work for the two
different fighters,
different boxers,
Yeah, it's a great answer.
Yeah, you answered the question I had, which was, are there other sports that you look to? Because obviously you mentioned tennis and this. I heard the Boston Celtics, I think, won the NBA championships during the week, and their coach said he gets a lot from Pep Guardiola from what he does with City. So I think it's a great point to be able to. You might be a boxing coach, but not just pigeonhole yourself in the world of boxing. Look outside of that. And even I remember hearing stories. Lomachenko's dad had him as a ballet dancer. Doing ballet as a kid.
Right, I think as well as it. If you're a parent and you want your child into sport, it's cross-training is the most important thing. Like Kay played international football until she was 21.
Yeah. Was it till 21 she played?
Yeah.
Whoa. Right.
And then she ran a lot. She played GAR. Like she'd go from the GAR pitch onto the soccer pitch, and she'd been non-stop table tennis.
Yeah.
Like she was sport. Every hour of the day was consumed with sport after school, and all, like my other kids were all involved in sport as well. So, but not boxing. Boxing. I didn't want Katie to box. It just happened. I was training for the All Irelands, and no babysitter this night, so I brought her up to the club, and I was training away. And next, she's in the ring bleeding, sparring some young lads, and she'd always been watching your boxing, and always been messing with pads in the house with her. She's in there baiting some young lads around. She's, I love this. She says, can I come next week? And then that was it. You couldn't get out of the gym then, and it was mad, so like I say, I never planned on a boxing. It just happened by accident, so.
Yeah. Did Katie have older brothers?
It's two older brothers.
That probably that set the seed for
Peter won in All Irelands, and my eldest lad Lee he did a lot of Thai boxing. He was a professional Thai boxer,
Okay.
So they were all into sport.
So no one's messing with the tailors down the
road. And Peter was very good, but he went down the education route. He's a professor in DCU, and he was Cambridge and Trinity, so he had the more education side,
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Strong genes in all fields.
I just started thinking down to parenting, innit? I mean, you just used to say to the kids, whatever you do, give it 100%.
Yeah.
So don't bother doing it.
Yeah.
100%, and we don't bother doing it.
Yeah. Well, you said you had 4 kids at 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What age were you for the first child that you had?
17.
17.
Whoa.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so they're all close together, you know. So, it's good.
So you grew up quick as well.
Yeah, so look, you're a child. You're a child at 17 as well. And I was married at 19, so you're a child at 17. So
Yeah. Now, but there's always that kind of conception in society where having kids at a young age is like, oh, your life is over.
It's
like,
done,
you've kind of, now your whole life is just kids and blah, blah, blah. But I think yourself and Paddy Houlihan spoke about it as well when we had him on. It's like, he basically said having a child was the start of his life.
Yeah,
like, this is where he became who he was supposed to be.
yeah, like, look, these what would I say? These goods and bads of it. And then you know, you enjoy, you know, your kids growing up, and then you know what happens though when they get to 17 and 18, they're not kids anymore. They're into adults and they're in relationships, and it's an hard transition for a parent to make. You know,
Yeah.
it's very hard because they've always depended on you. Then it's a very difficult transition to make.
Yeah.
And I didn't make it very well. You know, I didn't make it well at all. You know, and it's a really difficult transition to make for a parent. I think, you know, it really is difficult. You know.
Yeah.
You know, because you're used to them depending on you so much, and now they're their own people. And looking as a parent, that's what you've got to do. You're meant to develop your kids into be their own people.
Yeah.
And then when you develop like that, it's like, geez, what do I do now?
All this free time.
You still try to pull the reins back.
Yeah,
in, you know?
yeah.
That's it.
That's an interesting point. What, when you said you didn't deal with it well, was it still trying to control too much? Or?
No, I wasn't trying to control, but I think I was lost then.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I felt, you know, obviously I was still with Kate. We were going around, we were training, but then, you know, it's like your life changes then, and then you think, geez, I've done it. I've done my job now. They've all grown up, and then I says, now it's time to have my life now. You know?
Yeah.
That's probably what happened, you know. So
Yeah. It's crazy.
and then obviously a new relationship now, new wife now, and she's doing great. She was supporting me all the way through. Being short, like I had that big frame on my arm. She had to clean that twice a day because it was drilled into my arm. And then
I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
no, it's the first time they've done it over here. You know?
Really, yeah?
Yeah, man. Man was amazing. I did it. The surgeon, just to grow the bone back, you know, because they were going to chop my arm off at one stage.
Really?
You know, he was going to be amputated
no.
there at one stage, and then she had to like you couldn't sleeve. They couldn't put sleeves on, obviously, because it was drilled into my arm.
Yeah.
So you had to clean it twice a day to stop it getting affected. That was on me for 18 months. Sleeping on my back for 18 months. It was a nightmare. And then I got over that. Then I tore my quads.
Yeah, both quads, was
both quads. You know, someone robbed a watch on me in Barcelona, and I chased after him, and I didn't see the step down, and
Oh
running full speed after him, and on mine was on my bleeding birthday, running full speed after him. I said, I'm going to get this lad now, and I'll kill him when I get hold of him. And I didn't see the step down. That quad came away, shot up there. So I grabbed it, still got one leg, I'll catch him, chased after him, next and boom, this has gone. Paralysed in the middle of the bleeding road, you know.
Oh my God.
So he had to get me to an ambulance and flight back from bloody Barcelona, and absolute nightmare.
Double quad rupture.
Double quad rupture, yeah.
What was the recovery like on that? How many months were you?
Said I wouldn't walk for 8 months, you know, but I was back in 4 weeks. I went back into the hospital and I was in my frame in 4 weeks.
That's the Taylor genes.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's a mindset, you know. If you say 8 months, I'm going to say I'm going to do it quicker than that. And then I did. Then they said you won't run. You probably won't run again. But I did a high rocks 14 months afterwards, a full high rocks, you know. So, but it was a nightmare. That was actually a nightmare. It was actually worse than my arm because I was in steel plates like that, and we lived in an apartment. I couldn't get up the steps of the apartment, and it was a nightmare trying to get up the apartment. Tricep pressing myself up the apartment. Like Karen, my wife, having to hold my legs straight all the way up, then getting to the gym. The gym's upstairs, as you see. All the boxers carrying me upstairs, and I think it was 2 weeks later that Sean McComb again was fighting in the failure, and I'm still doing the corner. I said, well, I'm in a wheelchair, you know.
Right.
So pushed me to the corner in the wheelchair, you know, and the officials saying, you're not allowed. Health, fire hazard, and everything. You're not allowed in the corner. discrimination. I said, I'm going in the corner. So the wheeled everybody out there. So I was shouting instructions in the corner, and just someone giving him the water, you know, and but it was an absolute nightmare. And my wife had just got a new job, and she had to go over to America to train for 5 days, and I was left in the house. I couldn't even put my socks on, nothing on. No, and she didn't want to go, but she had to go now, and
stuck in the same spot. That must be a humbling experience.
Humbling, you know. Imagine going to the toilet and your legs are like this because you have steel plates on. I'm going to the toilet with my legs like this, you know. It's absolutely things you don't think of, you know.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare, and you know, like like I say, I have good people around me, and my boxers help me big time. You know, and, well, one of the lads that helped me coach, he was knocking the door, key to the door. He was carrying me down the stairs to the apartment, and I couldn't sit in the back of a car. I couldn't sit in the car because my legs were straight. So I'd have to lie across the back seat of the car, and we couldn't even get a taxi home from the ambulance because I couldn't fit in any taxis. You know, even the wheelchair was because my legs were straight like that. So it was an absolute. You won't believe how bad it was. Actually, way worse than this because at least I could. Way worse than me arm because at least I could move around. This is I was stuck. I was going around. Got one of them. We've seen them furniture removal things on wheels. I was going around the apartment on wheels, pushing it. Oh, it was a nightmare. Showering, everything. You don't believe how difficult it is. Something like a quad rupture, 2 quad ruptures. It's
fair play.
An absolute nightmare. But it was just. Look again, like I just said, oh Jesus, not again. I was just thinking, go through this again, but it's just another obstacle, and you know, people say fair play to you getting back from it, but look, what are you going to do? Feel sorry for yourself? You know, just got to be careful to do it. I did my own rehab, and you know, it's good. It's all good now. And knees, legs, probably 8. They're never going to be 100%. Obviously, you know what I mean. Even like I say, I did the high rocks there. Every step is painful, like you know.
Okay.
But you get through it, you know.
What a mentality.
The resilience,
Look, like I just say, you're happy to be waking up every morning, aren't you? You know, that's the main thing. I make the best of life.
Yeah, it's those experiences, they give you perspective, really, don't they, more than anything else.
You do, like, you know, going down to an operating theatre, like, you think it's 3 hours on each leg to get them re-stitched, and thinking, Jesus, people going down there and they're not going to come back out of them in a lot worse condition than I'm in, you know. So but you appreciate everything though.
I'd say, yeah.
You know, when they are good, you appreciate it. You know, when your arm's good, when your legs are good, you actually appreciate everything. Then, you know?
It is really those. I mean, I'll call them simple things. It's not that simple.
Yeah, well, you do really. Like, you know, remember when I put a jacket back on after 18 months, not being able to put a jacket on me, you know? Because I had this big frame on. It was like, oh, jeez, this is great. You know, it was mad, you know. Mad things like that you really appreciate, you know. That's life. It's character, innit? It was built character at the end of the day.
The same lessons in the boxing ring as a young man,
it's the same
all the way
lessons,
through.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to ask you about was when it comes to fighters, on a different interview that you done, you said the importance of making sure that essentially you're not surrounded by yes men. Like, you have people in your corner who will big you up when you need to be bigged up, but also tell you the truth. And it may not be what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. Is there any like difficult conversations that stick out in memory for you that you've had to have with fighters over the years?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember Davey Oliver. Davey's great. Davey was great, but sparring, he was getting a little bit shook in sparring, you know. And then he fought Lee Woods, you know.
Okay,
He fought Lee Woods. He gave Lee Woods a great fight, but Lee Woods stopped him in the 9th round. And I remember saying to David, it was his last. Oh, he just won the European title, but he'd won the fight, but he got wobbled again, and he began wobbled a few times in sparring. I said, David, is this the time? I says, you've had 3 Olympic cycles, you know. As a coach, it's my responsibility. It's time to stop. I said, you know.
Okay.
I said, you know, you just come off a win as well, like, you know what I mean? Don't forget, European champion. How did you beat Man Shields, I think. But anyway, he's European champion, just come off a win. He says, it's time, you know, he's kind of getting hurt a lot now, you know.
Yeah.
I said, unless a big money fight comes up, let's just knock it on the head. So they offered us a lad, Baluta. I don't know if you remember Baluta. He fought Michael Conlon. He was unlucky against Michael Conlon. It was a split decision. But I looked at Belutta's record, and he had no knockouts in it, you know. Two or three knockouts out of 16 wins, I thought. And they said if he beats Belutta, he'll fight Michael Conlan. So I thought, okay, sounds decent, like, you know. Because, like, Michael's not a devastating puncher as well, and they'd sparred a lot of time, and the spars had always been good, and he's going to get big money for a Michael Conlan fight. So I said, this is worth the risk, you know. So I said, like, look, go for this. This is worth the risk. This lad's not a big puncher. It'll be dangerous for the first 4 rounds. But since then, I think you could wear him out, you know, because Davey Oliver had a heart like a lion, you know, and just never stopped coming forward. Like, it was great to watch, it was, you know. But anyway, unfortunately, Davey got stopped in the 4th round, you know. And you know, and I've had a few fighters I've taken into the office, good few. I'm not going to mention them, but because they went and boxed with someone else, and they end up getting knocked out afterwards in the next fights. And I said to him, remember one day doing it with 4 boxers, at 12, and cut me squad down. They were getting there and sparring. These 4 lads really badly hurt, and I was saying, listen, and like one of them left in tears, you know. I said, because he was mad into boxing, he loved it, you know, and it was his passion. And I said, I'm not responsible. I can't be responsible for you being inspired. You're going to get hurt. You need to get another job. You're not going to make money. Most you're going to be is an Irish level, which is, if that's your level. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you're not going to make money out of this, and you're sparring lads like Luke Keeler and all that, and they're hurting you. Gary Cully was hurting people as well. So they're going to hurt you, you know, and I can't watch that every time, you know, and you need to spar. So I said, I'm going to have to let you go. And it was a killer for me as well, because I built a good relationship with him, and he was, I thought of him one day. It was probably
a rough day.
A horrible day, you know, and they depressed me for about 2 weeks, you know, seeing him. Like, none of them took it well now, in all fairness. And they went somewhere else, and look, every single one of them got knocked out in the next fight, you know, and it's stupid, you know, because as a coaches, this is something, but they've got these journeymen and they're getting knocked out, but they're taking the 10%, and it's not right, you know. Yeah, it's not. You need someone to say, listen, this is the time to stop, and you know, and look, even my own daughter, like, you know, obviously I have spoke to her as well. It's easy to surround people yourself with yes man. She doesn't, which is great. But there's got to be a time when somebody just has to say, look, you stop. It's an hard choice, because if they don't stop, for me, with them 4 lads that didn't stop, then I said I should have stayed with them, because at least I could have protected them. Yeah. So you don't know what way to go with it.
Yes. Yeah. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
You do. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. You know. So well, I'll stop him. I wouldn't let him fight that lad. But now what do? You know, it's like you just say, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's a horrible position to be in, you know. Yeah. You know, so and then promoters will put them in anyway, because once they sell tickets, they don't care. Promoters are, don't care.
Vultures.
Yeah.
That's it, you know.
Yeah. On the other side of that, I might be wrong here, but Gary Cully, did he stop training with yourself after the Jose Felix Jr. fight?
Yeah.
What's it like when a fighter you've been working with for so long decides that they want to move on to somebody else or try a different camp?
It's a killer, you know, because like you've got a great relationship with them and grown them, and then you know you've put in a lot of time with them, a lot of time. You know, it does cost you a lot of money as well. You're going over to the UK and you lose work as well. And the thing is about coaching is that the coach is the only person that doesn't have a contract. Yeah. Managers have a contract. Promoters have a contract. The coach puts all the time, but he doesn't have a contract. Now, the same. If somebody doesn't want to be with you, you're not going to be a good coach, you know. So it works. But that was tough, because I remember saying to Gary, this has been your... Gary had admitted this. It was his worst camp, I said, because he wasn't up. He was kind of got caught up in the limelight of it all. I mean, you know, co-main event. Yeah. You know, with Kay. He wasn't coming in training, but he was still training, but he wasn't training up in the Coliseum. Okay. Because he's always super fit, Gary is, you know. Yeah. One thing you can say about Gary, he gives 100%. And I said it to him. I said it to the coaches with now. This is his worst ever camp. I said it way before the fight, you know. And man, and he underestimated Felix because Tyrone, we'd already boxed Felix. I had boxed Felix with Tyrone McKenna.
Okay.
And Tyrone had beaten him, and Gary was doing okay with Tyrone in sparring, obviously, and I remember anyway he got beaten, and I remember him after the fight, the first thing he said is, how did I lose against him and Tyrone beat him? I says, that's how you lost against him. And it's hard. It's hard, you know, because they kind of, I know they go out and say they're not blaming you, but they really are blaming you because they've gone somewhere else, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but it's that's it. You know, it is. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough as a coach because you know you spend so much time in, and usually, you know, usually always after a defeat, someone leaves you, but forget about that.
Constant. Yeah.
It's like, you know, I say to other people, it's like lending money to a person 99 times, and the one time you don't lend the money, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Forget about the 99 other times when you lend them the money. You know what I mean? It's the same with boxing, you know. It's unlucky, you know. They think it was the best for him. I get on great with Gary still. Don't get me wrong, I still go on well with him, and you know, and I hope he does go on. Like, he's great potential, Gary. He's great potential. Now he's got all the attributes, but you know, hopefully he will go on. But it's look, he's in a tough weight division as well, you know.
He is, but he has the height.
He's got the height, yeah. But you know, once you lose that order of invincibility, you know, when you everyone thinks they can beat you then, like, and since your confidence can go, you can knock your confidence a little bit, and since it's that defeat, like, he's got through the 2 fights, but it's not been his best performances, in all fairness. And Gary be the first to acknowledge that, and it's always hard when you go to another coach because you got to gel with him again,
and that whole relationship,
you know, and he, in all fairness, he took an hard fight against him and Reece Mould in his first fight with his new coach. That's a tough fight to take, you know. I mean, and you know, he's learning new things that they've taught him as well, and it's hard. The transitions can be difficult, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, I remember I had Jazza on his first fight, and the transitions hard. Yeah. It's hard to get on your first fight, you know, and you know they don't really know how you work in the corner, and you know, even mad little things like the warm up. Everyone has their own individual warm up. It's the one thing you don't control as a coach is the warm up because it's so individual, you know. You know, so yeah, but it is hard when a boxer leaves like that, you know. Especially when you've had such a close relationship, you know. You know, it's like breaking up his relationship. It's like breaking up in a relationship, really. You know, so yeah, it is tough.
Especially when you've seen, like, help nurture them for so far, and as you said, like, for that example with Gary in that context, like, it was a bad camp. It's like you lost, but there's things we can control and get back in and work on to
get back on the work on it. You know, like you've got to bite down on the gum shield and sit down and say, well, I needed this more off you, and I need this more off you, and it should be a two-way discussion, because I think when one of your boxers lose like that on a like, you can grow. You can grow then. You know what I mean? You should grow then. That's, you know, because, you know, all the wins, you celebrate the wins. You're not really looking at things you should have done because you're too busy celebrating the wins, you know. But then when you've lost, you say, now, listen, we need to get back to basics.
Yes.
You know, but then if you jump into another coach, then you're not going back to your basics because you haven't got that foundation, that you've grown a big foundation together there, you know. And I think, look, Kay could have easily jumped coaches again, using Kay as an example after the Cameron fight. She could have jumped, but they went back to, said, right, this is what we've got to do, and that's how. If she got to a different coach, even if she'd have come with me, she'd have probably struggled against Cameron. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I know I had her for a long time, but you know, she went back and you just work on it, and it's the pair of you lose, not that, you know, you suffer as much, you know. So yeah.
I can imagine. The sleepless nights as a coach after
that was a horrible night. That was, because Katie lost as well. Gary lost. I believe a horrible night, you know.
In Dublin as well.
In Dublin, you know. It was actually a funny story. We stayed in there, like you said, in Burlington, and I didn't watch Katie's fight against Shamrock. I don't watch the fights. I go to the fights, but I don't watch them. You know, like because I can't control anything anymore. You know.
Okay.
So I can't watch the fights. And even when she's boxing, it's on TV. I go for a walk, And I look at watching on Twitter, seeing I was getting on Twitter, you know, the lads have a group with the lads. So I liked it, and I left my phone there. And I have a brutal sense of direction. I'm trying to find the building from the O2, like walking. Like, I have a brutal sense of direction. And I'm trying to avoid the pubs because I didn't want to know what's happening in the fight, you know. So I'm crossing over the road and avoiding the pubs. So I walk down the road, there's a Garda car there. I said, I'll ask him where the building is. He says, I'm lost there, you know. So I'm next to the window and I'm watching the fight and I'm bleeding out, you know. And the man looks up and he goes, he's just watching me on the TV on the fight, and Katie's fighting and I'm standing outside the car. It was mad. You should have seen the face of him. I said, where's the building? I don't know, he said. I don't know. But again, it's mad mentality. Got back to the building, got through the door. I don't know if it's an Irish mentality or not. People come way to run over to me. Katie got beaten. Katie got beaten. Jeez, the kind of, I must have. If she'd have won, I wouldn't have had that many people telling me.
Hear nothing.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Oh, Katie got beaten. Katie, what do you think about Katie getting beaten? Cully got beaten as well.
Yeah.
People nearly delighted.
Yes.
It was mad. You know.
Misery loves company, doesn't it?
So they say.
Yeah.
I've got 2 questions left for you, Pete. One is a little bit of a weird one, but it's just something I've always been curious of. You're in the ring, or you're in the corner, your fighter's in the ring. Imagine it's like the last few seconds of the round. Your fighter's getting wobbled, like he gets saved by the bell. He's back in the corner. You just have your little bit of time before he's back out again. What's the message that you're giving to a fighter at that stage? Is it one of like, you're all right, like positivity, trying to like just get them in a good headspace? Or is it more of like, here, look, for the first minute of the next round, just don't get hit, like cover up, be on the defensive, let yourself?
It just depends how badly they're hurt, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you're talking to them, like, you know, you the family, you know. So, you know, you're with them. I'm with them every day, you know. So I know if they're hurt, you know. I know how badly they're hurt, you know. So, you know, if they're too bad, I won't let them out. As simple as that, you know what I mean? I'm not going to let them out because, you know, like, you only prolonging what's going to happen, you know. It just depends how badly they are. But I'd say if they're okay, I say, listen, just get on your bike, move, hold him, wrestle, hold on. You've got to be like an octopus. You've got to have 8 arms, hold on to him. Just break his rhythm. Don't let, you know, if you feel he's coming to you, just jump on him, hold him, and make it untidy, wrestle with him. You know, spit your gum shield out, do anything. You know what I mean?
Slow it down.
Just buy time. You know, undo his laces before he goes. His laces. You know what I mean? But just you've got to do anything to buy time. You know what I mean?
The dark arts.
It's but you know, look how badly that. But look, every boxer tell you, no, I'm glad.
Oh, of course.
You know, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. How you feel? I'm good. Yeah. And if you said, I'm stopping this, no, if you stop this, I'll never talk to you again.
Oh, yeah. If I let you go on, I might never talk to you again.
You know, that's it. That's great. Yeah, I should say that. Actually.
He won't talk to anyone again.
Just try to get him to all on first. And look, you know, when say, like, again, we're knocked down, then the referee didn't see the towel. We threw the towel against Cully. I think probably could have, you know, people say maybe you should have thrown that in earlier. But like I know, like, you know, so much conditioning, you know, they end up getting dropped the second time because he'd recovered and he was trying to throw back instead of getting on the bike.
Yeah,
your ego gets to you, you know. Mm-hmm. So I'm not hurt, you know, and then you start throwing back. But I knew he's great conditioning, and I knew he would recover, you know, where people say, you should throw this down. But he could have, if he hadn't tried training, he would have survived that round. He probably would have, he could have sneaked the decision, you know. But that's ifs and buts in it, you know.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, look, the most important thing is your boxer's safety at the end of the day. You know, there's no point in making all this money and you retire and you can't even talk to your kids, you know what I mean? The most important is the safety. And you know, like I say, if I was back in the corner, I thought, this guy's not going to last the next round, I'd just throw the towel in. You know,
live to fight another day.
Fight another day, you know. At least I've stopped the fight. You've not been stopped, you know.
Yeah.
I've stopped it, you know. So yeah.
The ego doesn't get as damaged in that.
Doesn't get as damaged, you know what I mean? And you can. He's an asshole.
They can blame you. I'll take that. Yeah.
Like, you know, you can blame him, but like, at least you're healthy, you know.
He's probably thanking you in the background.
But yeah, it's tough. It's tough to see one of your lads getting dropped, and you know, and And then sometimes, you know, you have to take fights in this game, which it's not the right fight, but it's the right money.
Yeah.
And it's not amateur boxing. It's like amateur boxing and professional boxing is two completely different sports. It's like playing tag rugby and rugby. You know, amateur boxing is tag rugby, like, you know, and professional boxing is rugby. It's the small gloves on, and you know, you could be the best in the world, but you might never get a chance. Like I think, like your man Barboza is going to get a world title shot before Sean McComb. But Sean McComb deserves a world title. You can be great, but now at the moment, if you don't have great social media, you're not going to get a world title shot.
It's crazy. Yeah,
you know, it's the people that've got the best social media get the world title shots now, not the best fighters, and which is sad, and that's the way boxing's gone. And I know, you know, people say to you, "What do you think of this Jake Paul thing?" I'm happy with Jake Paul at the moment because he's paying my daughter handsomely for the next fight. But is it good for boxing? No, it's not good for boxing. You know, I don't think it's good for boxing. Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul at the end of the day.
No.
I don't think it's good for boxing. Like, and then, like, in all fairness, man, I think Jake Paul's a good athlete, and I think it's hard to for people to take him serious. But he is a good athlete. But what's he going to get if he beats Mike Tyson? He's beating a 58-year-old man.
Yeah.
If he loses, he's lost against a 50-year-old. So it's lose for him anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't take the fight. You know what I mean? Like, fight Evander Holyfield. I know he's old as well, but I think Holyfield is probably in better condition than what Tyson is. But I'll fight someone as he fought Tommy Fury and he
lost.
You know what I mean? And no disrespect to Tommy Fury, but he's a British level. He's British standards, you know, not European standards, you know what I mean? Yeah. But at least he took the fight against him, you know. But fight more lads like that, you know. You know, it's not good for boxing, I don't think. Yeah. But look, and then the other page, I'm delighted Tyson's getting a lot of money because he's put a lot into boxing as well.
True. Yeah.
So, like, you weigh the pros and cons.
Swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, it swings and roundabouts.
Kind of answered my last question around what's your take on the whole influence of boxing thing. A side note of it, though, is I suppose Saudi Arabia's influence on boxing now and what they're doing over there. What's your...
Yeah, but we've had a lot of fights in Dubai. I've had a lot of fighters in Dubai. I know McKenna fought Prograis in Dubai.
He did, yeah.
Then Jazza fought in IBO thing over there. I've had a few... I've actually not had much luck in Dubai with the boxers. Trying to think about it, but it's a strange atmosphere. Like,
I've heard
they
a few
don't seem to get
people,
excited, you know, and they're just like clapping here. And
right.
It's a funny atmosphere. I was there when Cal Frampton lost against we lost his title up there, and it's a strange atmosphere. And look, at the end of the day, who cares about the atmosphere as long as the boxers get paid?
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of boxing COVID. When everyone was boxing in COVID, it's actually the same.
No way.
The same situation, you know. And you know, but some people thrive on that, COVID thing. But some people hated it, you know. You know, some people love the buzz of the crowd and everything, you know. So it can work for and against you, you know. You know, some people love just, you know, the crowd getting behind them.
The energy.
And everything you shout in there. You know, the other corner can hear as well, you know. So, but, it's like, who cares as long as the boxers... I don't care as long as the boxers are getting well paid for it. Yeah. And I think there might even be... Well, you're still going to have like some matchroom... You're still going to have promoters and all, because they're probably just going to overrun it with money, and the matchroom is still going to be there. Golden Boy is still going to be there. So it's still not going to help with the structure there.
Getting the fights made.
Where the rankings, getting the proper fights made, you know. Like, you know, that's a killer in boxing.
Ah, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, it's
crazy how that happens,
You know, like, everyone's so worried about the zero.
Oh, we spoke about it with Kiefer Crosby a couple weeks ago.
Well, who cares about the zero? You like it. It's never a relief off your shoulder when you lose a zero, I think. You know what I mean? And, it's a killer. It's a killer. And sanctioning bodies, like you say, like we go back to McComb and Barbosa, they put so much money into Barbosa and Golden Boy that you're not going to beat him over there. No. And it's look, it's the same in the amateurs. Irish Sports Council, you're boxing the elites, they put so much money into this high performance lad, spending funding him every year. Then you go in and you box against him, you're not going to get the decision, let's be honest. There's too much government money gone into him, you know, makes everybody on the high performance look stupid. And how to stop that now is they don't let the high performance athletes enter the elites.
Right, okay, so they
don't get beaten, so they never... so you win the elites, okay, we'll give you a box off behind closed doors. so nobody can see the box office. Even amateur boxing is corrupt. It's corrupt to the core, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why he's probably a good chance of getting kicked out of the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's so corrupt, you know, and you know, like even, you know, you like you say, you can win the elites, which should be the real area to see who is the number one in the country. Everyone should enter the elites. You should be made enter the elites, and if you lose, you lose, unless it's a bad decision. And I always said, even like we're talking about amateur boxing now, is a fetch coaches from abroad who don't know anyone and let them, not coaches, judges, and let them judge the fight. No, it's not.
No bias.
No bias. I know that lad in the corner. I get on well with him. There's loads of bias there because you're mixing with each other all the time. You know what I mean? So when you have an All Irelands, I'll do them a favour. Will you do me a favour in the next fight? That happens all the time. Fetch international judges and referees over, or have no association with anything with the IBA. Fetch them over, put them up for the time the All Irelands are on, and let them judge it. That's what they should be done as well. And everyone that's on the high performance should be made go into the elites, because if you can't win the elites, you're not going to go over to Europe and win the Europeans.
Yeah.
You know, that's what should be done, you know, and the elites, being the elite champion of Ireland should mean something then.
Yeah, should carry weight,
Should carry weight. It means nothing now.
Yeah, it's just a watered down version of what it used to be.
Yeah. It doesn't mean nothing because the elite champion, the high performance lad wasn't in it, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there's like an asterisk beside it.
The best of the rest.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, the best of the rest. That's a good point. Way of putting it. Yeah, and like I say, international judges in there.
Yeah,
like 5-star judges, 5-star referees, and let them look after it. You know.
Yeah,
and then there's no influence.
Oh, for sure, it's a good point. It's funny you bring it back to corruption because the Michael Conlan's fight in the Olympics, the one I can't remember who he was fighting in the Olympics. But that just came up on my newsfeed this morning.
Jesus.
I have two more questions for you. I think Ireland has always been somehow really good at producing high quality boxers over the years. Given the kind of current climate of Irish boxers, who do you think is the most underrated?
Professional or amateur?
Professional.
Most underrated.
Is there anyone we're not talking about that we should be?
Andy Kakachi. Even though he won the world title.
Yeah.
Kakachi was special. He was special even as an amateur. Punches like a bloody donkey.
Really? Yeah. Hard hitter.
Oh, like if you talk to any of the northern lads about him, they all rave about him.
Right.
He punches like a bloody donkey, like, you know, he's classy as, you know, and no one was surprised when he beat Cordina.
Right.
No one who knew. Yeah.
And he didn't even spar for that. Because he went in with a damaged rib.
No way.
He's
See, that's crazy because I wouldn't have even known.
I never heard his name before that.
I knew Cordina because Eddie Hearn's his promoter, so I just assumed going in Cordina all day, you know.
Yeah, nobody even ever heard of Kakachi. You know? And like you ask any of the lads that box from the north, and nobody would be surprised. Or anybody who knew him on the scene, even as an amateur, he didn't do any super things as an amateur. But Janie Mackie was. Everyone spoke about him. You could see it was always, even the amateur was special.
Yeah.
But again, wasn't really given opportunities even as an amateur. You know, wasn't really giving them opportunities. But yeah, I'd say he's been very good. He's going to be very good as well. I think is Lewis Crocker.
Yes, the Croc. Yeah, he's fighting this weekend.
Yeah, he's fighting this week. It's a tough fight for him now this week. It's a really tough fight because your man can take a punch and but he's good. But he's going to be a good fighter. But I think Kakachi, I know he's, I don't know, he's 34 now, Kakachi.
Yeah, I think it's mid-30s,
He's, you know, he's probably wrong time of his career now, like, you know, but he's not had an hard career as well. That's the only good thing.
Yeah, hasn't taken too much damage.
He could go another 3 or 4 years, you know, if he gets the right fights, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's super.
Yeah, Anthony Kakachi.
The Apache.
Yeah, the Apache. I knew that was his thing.
Yeah.
What do you think is the kind of like peak prime age for a boxer?
It just depends on what mileage you've got on the clock. You know, it's like a car. You know, if you've a 40-year-old car and you keep it in the garage, you put no mileage on it. It's like brand new. You know.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you're on the high performance team as an amateur, you get a lot of mileage put on your clock going away to the training camps.
Yeah.
You know, and then you get ingrained in the amateur pedigree, and then sometimes it's the transition to professional boxing is so difficult. You know.
Yeah.
And obviously, again, and it's the style. What way do you fight? Are you a fighter? Are you a boxer? Are you a counter puncher? That's all. So you can't really, can't really specify what's the right age, But if you look after yourself, do you party afterwards? There's all these things to take into account. It's like how long's a piece of string, really? It's a tough question,
Yeah. That's a solid answer. My last question: have you had a book written on you yet, or have you done an autobiography or anything like that?
Look, I've had maybe 10 people asking me.
Yeah.
It's very intrusive.
Yeah, Do
you know what I mean? And then you've got to go back to your child. I didn't have a great childhood, so you have to go back to your childhood and
revisit.
It's very intrusive, And then you probably, I don't know. Probably waking up demons you don't want to wake up as well. You know what I mean? And it's I've had a few, and I've had a few people asking me to even just do a documentary, but I don't know. I'm too young for that.
Too minutes.
I don't know.
Well, if we put the book and documentary aside for a moment, right? You're a man who's had a lot of things written about you over the years, good and bad. If you don't put out your own story in a book or in a documentary, what would you like Pete Taylor's legacy to be, and how would you like to be remembered?
Probably a great father and a great coach. That's it. Just a very loyal person. I'm very loyal to my friends. But that's it. That's all you can really ask for. The most important thing is to be a great father. Once your kids can acknowledge that, that's the most important thing. Look, we all make mistakes as well, but hopefully my kids think that.
Beautiful. Pete, that's all. Thank you so much for your time and your honesty, coming on and opening up and talking about things that most people would probably rather just avoid, put in the past, and never open again or never look back to come and share those.
In all fairness, lads, you made it very easy. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Pleasure, man. I'm wishing you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thanks, lads.